Hi, everyone. I'm here today with GPT-5. It's my first day with it, and for many folks it is. I've been relatively pleased so far. It operates differently. I know there are some concerns. It does have the typical weaknesses of a large language model, and it's got, some strengths that are a step above some of the more recent models. And so let's try it out. As I try out a GPT or a large language model, I really like to do things like research thorny questions. I'd like to start with this one, the question of energy use. And so I'm asking it to please research the latest, most trustworthy reports available regarding the current and potential future energy impacts of current and planned investments in AI infrastructure. Give me a summary of that research. Let's see what it does with that very basic prompt. I could give it a more robust prompt. I could set more context, tell me about the audience, etc. But um, the other thing I could do, I could force it to use its thinking mode. But GPT-5 is touted to be able to choose its thinking mode to do more advanced reasoning when it needs to. And I'm hopeful that this prompt will trigger it to do that on its own, and we can see. And rather than going into more detail, I often like to start with a basic prompt and then follow up with questions as it goes. And I've noticed that with these recent models, they do an increasingly good job with a basic prompt like this. I'm telling it to research it, give me evidence. Um, and also, I will tell you that I've used GPT for a while and it knows my history. And so it knows a little bit about what I want. And so it'd be interesting to see if you get different results if you've not used it in the way that I have, right? And it might tend to respond to you a little bit differently. So let's see what it does. Thinking longer for a better answer. That's a good sign. I can ask it to give me a quick answer, which that's kind of a nice feature. Considering trusted sources, we don't know exactly what that means, but sometimes you can ask it to give you more detail. And it's kind of walking through some of the things it's doing. I like it. I like to see what's happening in the background. So 22 seconds it spent, and now it's beginning to give me its summary. And so AI infrastructure, what the best sources say, as of August 2025, snapshot where we are now. Data center electricity is already material and rising fast. Energy and AI analysis by the IEA projects global data center consumption to double to 945 terawatts by 2030, with AI the dominant driver. It's just under like 3% of world electricity in 2030. All right, the United States has congressionally requested updates. Its update shows that U.S. data center load has tripled over the past decade, is on track to double or triple by 2028. Grid operators are already feeling it. They're forecasting and feeling significant demand growth. Notice that I can get the sources. I mean, I haven't pointed that out yet, but one of the nice things I like about OpenAI's ChatGPT is it does a good job of citing sources. In my experience, the other leading models do that increasingly well also. And now when I click on sources, it opens them directly in a new window. There was a time when it would open them in the right-hand sidebar, and perhaps Gemini or Claude do that currently, but now GPT-5 is opening things in a new window, which is great. It works well for me. And so then it goes on through with this summary and these projections and why AI power crisis isn't the whole story. This is interesting, right? I like this addition of a nuance. Efficiency progress is real but uneven. And so maybe we can gain some benefits through efficiency. And I'm not going to take time in front of you to read this in great detail, but I will tell you that I've found over the past several months with models starting with 4 and with 4.0 and with the reasoning models like O3 and Gemini as well, and its 2.5 models especially, and then with Claude, that it's pretty helpful at working through questions like this, and I kind of like it. So here's the next prompt that we'll try out. I want it to tell me about I want it to actually give me an informed opinion, right? and kind of help me think about possible strategies for the future. So I'm saying now put on your research and reasoning hat, review the best available information about the strengths and weaknesses of various energy sources, and sketch the outlines of a 50-year energy plan that you might recommend to us leaders. Let's see what it does with that. Good, thinking longer for a better answer. Good sign. Reviewing energy tech reports, energy system details. I paused briefly and came back. It's still thinking. Love it. Looking at geothermal, it's looked at nuclear storage options. This could be interesting. So it's been a couple of minutes. I paused the video and it's still thinking. It's going through a number of very interesting steps, evaluating options, looking into various sources of thinking about long-term strategy. And so let's see how long it takes. Okay, so overall, it felt longer to me, but it was only 2 minutes and 29 seconds that it took. And it's got what it's saying is a pragmatic 50-year US energy plan framed by what we actually know today about each resource's strengths and limits. So what each source is really good at and bad at, right? So it's talking through solar, onshore wind, offshore wind, existing nuclear fleet, small modular reactors, and fusion. Really quick summary of those. Again, it's giving us a good set of sources for these. They look credible. Hydropower, geothermal, natural gas, batteries and long duration storage, demand flexibility. All right. I kind of like this. It's sort of fun. And I could have it develop it into a document, which would really be something that it would do if I used deep research mode. This is not using deep research mode. This is simply using GPT-5's advanced thinking capabilities. And it's got me off to a really good start. I mean, honestly, I need to spend more time, and I'm going to actually need help translating the alphabet soup. And actually, what if we told it this? Explain that in a way that my junior high student can understand, right? I'm not an expert, and so honestly, this will help me. Let's see what it says. Nice. Power more stuff. I like that. That's perfect. Meet the energy team, solar and wind, batteries. Oh, yeah, this is what I need, right? Um, So it's like giving me my own little executive overview of its kind of beefier report. In a later video, I'm going to come back and we'll do things like deep research to get really big, hefty reports, and then more formal executive briefs and things like that. But for me, this kind of interaction with a really good AI tool is a way that I love to learn, and I'm learning stuff that I sort of had a vague understanding of, right? And had a vague sense about, but just this opportunity to think and say, well, why don't I ask it to develop a 50-year plan? I'm sure others have a 50-year plan and it's drawing on those and building this plan. But this gets me thinking and reading and engaging with these thoughts in a new way. Of course, we need to look for your usual, right? Make sure that it's not hallucinating and so on. But I'm not making mission critical decisions here. I'm using it as a learning tool, which is one of my favorite uses of AI. And so far, I'm reasonably happy with GPT-5.